We back. We back. First and foremost, shout out to my Rams. Today is the 20th. We lost last night to them Eagles. But it's cool though. It's cool. You live and you learn. We be back next year. It wasn't as bad as some of these other teams that got smoked in the playoffs. But we hit. Now, I have a topic, as you can see from the title, how to distinguish between falling apart, but between your life falling apart and your life falling in place. A lot of us get these things confused. It's hard for us to determine or see the positive outcomes in the things that may be perceived negatives, right? So you may have lost your job and you feel like, okay, life is falling apart for you because now, you aren't making money, whatever the case may be. The immediate response to that situation would be the money aspect. You lost your job, now you gotta look for another one, right? But the job is just a means to an end, right? There's other ways to get to the end destination. You just gotta find the way back onto the path. So just because you lost your job or something may feel like life is falling apart, is really falling in place. Everything happens for a reason, right? So if you end a relationship or you lose your job or your car breaks down or whatever the case may be, you gotta find ways to look at the positive out of every situation and figure out how is this falling into place, how is this working for you, and not focus so much on the negatives, right? Distinguishing between things falling apart and falling into place often requires a combination of self-awareness, patience, and trust in a bigger picture. So first thing you can do is shift from immediate judgment to long-term perspective. Yes, you lost your job today, but in the long term, you're going to get another job and you're going to excel in that job because you have the experience from the previous job and you know what not to do now, right? You learned your lesson from that. When things feel chaotic, avoid labeling them as bad or wrong immediately, right? You're automatically going to say, I lost my job. This is bad. I need to figure out what I'm going to do now, right? Yes, you need to figure out what you're going to do now, but don't look at, I'm already thinking positively already, but don't think of the negatives, right? Ask yourself, how might this situation be serving a purpose I don't see yet? Sometimes what feels like falling apart is redirection to something better. Exactly. You will get a better job. You will be in a better space. It's just all about how you react to it. Life is and will always be 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. You lose your job, react to it positive, you're going to get a positive outcome from it. You lose your job, if you react negatively towards it, you will have a negative outcome from it, right? Reflect on past situations where hardship led to growth and unexpected opportunities. Use this as a reminder that setbacks can be catalysts, and a catalyst is a starting point to something else, right? A catalyst is the chemical reaction to something, right? Although a catalyst can be something negative and positive, we always have to take the positive out of it. And it all reverts back to your frequency change, right? The thoughts that you have and rewiring your thoughts to automatically come out as positive thoughts, not negative thoughts, right? We've all been through things and we are all still here on earth, still living, still surviving, right? We may not be in the ideal, perfect situation right now, but we have a chance today to make it better. We got to just look at the bright side of it and figure out the path that is set for us, right? Because the path is already set. The destination is already set. We just got to figure out how to get there, right? Anchor your core values and purpose. Anchor your core values and purpose. Define what matters to you most. Your purpose, values, and long-term goals, right? As long as you stick to your long-term goals, the short-term things that may be perceived as hindrances or roadblocks won't matter because the end goal is still going to be the end goal. If you got to take a left or a right, you're still going to get to the destination. It may take you a little bit longer going left than it does going right, but you're still got your eye on the end goal, right? So when chaos arises, ask yourself, does this align to where I'm trying to go? And if it doesn't, you double back and you go back the right way, right? If it aligns, it might be a sign of things falling into place despite discomfort. If not, you can signal the need to let go. If not, it could signal the need to let go. So if you in a situation and you got to take a step back and look at things from the outside in and think like, okay, is what I'm doing right now leading me to where I need to be? If the answer is yes, cool, continue. If the answer is no, stop, figure out why not, and then you go the opposite direction, or you go in the direction that you need to go in, right? Yeah. Cultivate acceptance. Cultivate acceptance and accepting of all things that happen to you. And this is, again, the 90-10 rule. Life is 10% what happens to you and 90% how you react to it. If something bad happens, you get into a car accident, accept it. It happened. There's nothing you can do to change it now. You can only continue to go forward. You can't bask in the, what could I have done better? You can, but you got to save that for the next time. You know what I mean? You got to keep that idea in for the next time so you don't get into an accident again. So accepting everything as it comes, as for what it is, you know what I mean? And the positive side of what it is, not the negative side of what it is. We often resist change because of fear of uncertainty. Practice being patient through mindfulness, journaling, and meditation. These can help process emotions without getting lost in them. Acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means making peace with uncertainty while taking proactive steps, right? Yes, 1000%. You have to make peace with everything that's going on with you and around you as it is going on to you and around you. You gotta just make peace with it. It's nothing that you can do to change it. You can only look at the positive side and take the positive out of it and keep pushing forward, right? We have to always remember that we need to be going forward. Forward progress, even if 0.5% is progress, right? Small steps matter, and 1% better each day is the goal, right? Pay attention to patterns and signs. Pay attention to patterns and signs. A lot of us get trapped in these same patterns, these same signs, and we see the red flags in things, but yet we ignore them and persist and keep going. That's just wasting time. Even though time is a construct, time is just a thing. There's no such thing as time, right? You get where you need to get when you get to where you need to be. But pay attention to the patterns and signs. Notice recurring themes or patterns in your life. Are certain doors closing while others open? Are your relationships, work, or habits being challenged to force growth? Right? And that is a tricky situation because forced growth, although positive, can be draining. Although forced growth can be positive, it can be draining. You don't want to get to your destination drained to where you can't enjoy it. Right? Intuition can be a guide. Sometimes we feel a quite pull or sense of alignment even amidst chaos, and that again goes into the steps of realigning your frequency with your desired reality, and that is the subconscious, right? Your subconscious is another word for your intuition and things that you do without even realizing, things that you think without thinking, right? We have 6,000 thoughts. There's 6,000 thoughts? I think it's more, but I know it starts with 6. Even 60,000 thoughts a day, and we only are cognizant of about 5% of that. So those other 59,500 are your intuition and the things that control your actions, which then outputs your desired reality, or your reality, whether it is what's desired or not desired at the time, right? So we got to shift to a degree of which our frequency aligns with our desired reality, and then everything else will trickle onto that. So pay attention to the patterns and the signs in your life, and they may be hard to see, and it may be things that you are doing that are stopping you from getting to where you need to go. That's why I say you need to break yourself down and break your own heart to figure out, are you moving purposeful in life? And most people aren't. This is why most people don't have the desired reality, and their reality is a hindrance, and their desired reality is more on the negative side. Well, their reality is not desired, so then they are forcing themselves to deal with the reality because it's not desired, and then they get into this loop of, instead of seeing the positive from the reality that is, or the thoughts and the actions that they're taking, they look at the negative. And you can't change an effect without changing an effect. Well, you can't change an effect by changing an effect, so you need to change the thought process towards what it is. You need to be able to appreciate. So if you want to be a millionaire, you know you're not a millionaire, you're going to just keep harping on the fact that you're not a millionaire instead of harping on the fact that you have $1,000 and you can continue to make that $1,000 work for you. And soon enough, you'll become a millionaire. So think about the positive. Worry about what you have, not what you don't have. And then cultivate a space to where what you have attracts you, and you don't, you have to both attract what it is that you want, and what you want has to be attracted to you. So that's when you become connected, and that is somewhat of the duality, but that's a whole different topic. Seek feedback from trusted sources. And trusted sources, especially in 2025, may be a hard thing to find, right? Because people, it's hard to find people that you can trust and truly confide in without judgment. And being judged is a lot of people's weakness. People hate being judged. People think about or care about what people think about them, which to a certain degree you should, but you shouldn't care about what people think about you, as long as what you're doing is aligning with what you want to be and where you want to go. How people feel about that is their problem. You can't change people's thoughts. So finding a trusted source is hard. It's hard, right? Talk to mentors, friends, and spiritual guides. They can often see broader perspectives that's hard to access when you're in the middle of change, right? So when you're going through life and you just lost your job, right? This is my example for the day. Everybody knows I have one example for every video, and I just use that for every situation. So if you are harping on the fact that you just lost your job, or you don't have a job, you don't have income right now, that's the only thing that's on your mind, instead of, okay, going to apply for jobs, and jobs that align, not jobs that are going to be immediate gratification, immediate satisfaction, and still just feed you for now instead of nourishing your soul for the future. It's one thing to just eat because you're hungry. It's another thing to eat because you want your body to still be functioning in the future, right? So, finding those sources that can see, okay, you just got into an accident, okay, but did you die? People that are gonna be able to like say that to you, instead of being, damn, they hit you, instead of making a situation worse, or looking at the negatives towards it, right? And it's hard to find people that have a positive outlook. You need to confide in people that have a positive outlook on their own lives, because then they can look at a positive outcome on someone else's life. If someone is just negative for themselves and their own lives and their own situations, their own reality, and it's not their desired reality, they won't have the capacity to look at your life and find the positives in your life. It just doesn't work that way, right? You can't, when you are the light, you cast no shadows, right? You cast no shadows when you are the light. I should have had my notepad ready, because I wrote some stuff down also, some like quotes and stuff. The next one is find meaning in the challenge. Find a reason, a purpose in the challenge. Find the silver lining of why this is happening to you. What lessons are you learning, right? What does all of this mean, right? Let's say you got into an accident, right? You got fired, and then on your way to a new interview, or whatever the case may be, you got into an accident. Maybe that job wasn't for you. That job that you was about to interview for wasn't for you. So now you lost that job because you missed the interview, but then, it opens up the door for a different interview that maybe pays more, maybe aligns more with your mental health, because some jobs can be draining, right? You need to find a job that adds to you, that pays you in mental health and monetarily as well, right? You don't want a job that's draining your mind, body, and spirit, but funding your pockets, because then when you get to the destination that you're going to, you're going to be drained, and you're not going to be able to enjoy the material things if you don't have the right internal things, right? So find meaning in the challenge. Reframe difficulties as opportunities to evolve. Ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How is this helping me grow into the person I want to become? How am I growing from this? And how can I grow from this? And how can I take this information, this new scenario, and excel in it? How can I get an A in this project, in this thing that's happening to me, right? I just lost my job. How do I react? Instead of being mad at the people because maybe you got fired for no reason. Maybe the job was just cutting down because they wasn't making money and you were, you know what I mean? Your department just wasn't needed, right? It's downsizing, they cuts, whatever the case may be. You lost your job for no apparent reason of your own, right? You're still valuable, right? You're always going to be valuable no matter how you lost your job, whatever happened, right? You're always going to be valuable. You just got to find where it fits, right? You can't, a square hole will never value a triangle piece, right? Because it doesn't fit. So you need to figure out your shape and mold into the place that you need to be, right? Well, figure out where you want to be, and how and what is the mold, and if you are moldable into that shape, right? If you want to go down the square hole and you are not a square hole, a square piece, then you need to mold into a square, right? And that is a entendre, the square being a square. Yeah, understand. Growth often involves discomfort in the breakdown of an old structure to build something new. Yes, and that again is, there's no growth in your comfort zone and there's no comfort in your growth zone. So when you're growing, when you're evolving, you will be uncomfortable because it's not new to you. It's a foreign object. You're in a foreign place, right? And you want to be comfortable, so you stop yourself from putting yourself in discomfort, but you need that discomfort to grow. If you're comfortable all the time and life is just peaches and cream, you're not growing, you're not excelling, and life is not falling into place or out of place because you're just stagnant. You're just stagnant, right? So how you can distinguish from things falling apart and things falling into place is how comfortable are you. If it's falling apart, you're gonna feel discomfort, but it's not gonna be as comfortable as if it's falling into place, because you can see it in terms of, all right, this is a challenge to me, but when I'm done with this challenge, I'll be getting somewhere, right? Everything is falling into place, right? Develop patience and trust. For one, you have to be able to trust in yourself. A lot of people don't trust themselves to be what it is that they want to be, right? They have these dreams, and this is where New Year's resolutions come in, where I want to do this, I want to do this. And a lot of those things are just based on actions, not the mindset change, right? You want to, your resolution is things that you don't trust yourself to do, so you need to make it a resolution and then hold yourself accountable for it, instead of it just being second nature and you just working at it naturally. It becomes a forced change, right? You're forcing yourself to change and you're forcing yourself to hold yourself accountable, which can be a positive and a negative, but it's more, I feel like, on the negative side, because you're focusing more on the action. Majority of people focus more on the action of their New Year's resolution than the frequency change, the mindset change, and the subconscious and intuition change, right? And then that creates the desired reality. They don't even focus on the desired reality. They focus on the action, which the action isn't the main point, because you can have the right actions and get the wrong results, right? Your intention, you don't have to intend something to achieve it. You don't have to attend something to achieve it, right? So, yeah, you need to, like, people say, I want to go to the gym more. That's just so broad. It's like, okay, you're satisfied with just going to the gym. You walk in the door, you're in the gym, you walk out, you literally just satisfied your New Year's resolution. You didn't necessarily work out, but you went there. You're focusing on the action, not the mindset change, right? So I want to develop the mental fortitude for the gym and working out, not necessarily for a certain time period, but into a certain point, every day and it becoming second nature is a better resolution or goal rather than just saying, oh, I want to go to the gym. I'm going to start going to the gym this year. No, you need to make it a second habit. If you it's called what is it called? I forgot. I did a video on it. It's called habit stacking, right? So every day you're going to wake up and brush your teeth, right? And if your goal is to read more, you need to add a habit to it, right? So you're going to brush your teeth every day. You know that for a fact. So in order to read more, you read while you're brushing your teeth, or you read while you're eating breakfast. If you know that's what you do every single day, it's never going to change. You add a habit to that you want to do. So, and then it all comes in to play, right? Okay, I'll just digress completely, right? Develop patience and trust. Not everything will make sense immediately. Trust that life is unfolding for your highest good, even when you can't see the full picture, right? And we'll never be able to see the full picture. We'll never be able to see the end results, because the end results, although have been achieved before, because anything that you can think of has been achieved, right? For the most part, obviously, certain things humans, I'm not going to go down that road. But majority of the things that we want to achieve is because we've seen it done before, right? And someone's success may not look like your success. If you guys both want to be doctors, you both can be doctors, but the path, the journey, the outlook, everything is going to be different, except for the presentation layer. The presentation layer is just what people see and what people perceive. Everything that came with that is going to be different, right? You guys can both be doctors, but the fact that he had 4 brothers and you got 3 sisters is already different, right? It's changing. You are a foot taller, he's a foot shorter. It's just little things like that add to the back end. See, I'm in security and I'm in tech. So front end, the presentation layer, the front end and back end, right? There's a lot of things in the back end. One simple letter, one simple code could change what the front end looks like, and we may not even notice the details, right? So we can all go on Facebook, right? And it can look exactly how you expect Facebook to look, but the color can be off by 1 degree. Like that Facebook blue can be off by 1 degree, and you won't even notice it because it's such a small change, but it looks exactly like it should. But the back end of it is completely different, right? And it may function the same way. Everything may be exactly the same, but they're just different by a degree. So how to change like your subconscious. Things falling into place and seeing good in everything involves intentionally shifting your mindset, reprogramming your subconscious, and embracing the flow of life. It's about cultivating trust, gratitude, and awareness in your own frequency and vibration. Your vibration and your frequency are the same thing. They are interchangeable, just like intuition and subconscious, right? Understand and accept that life is always in motion, no matter what. Even when you sleep, things are working in your favor and out of your favor, right? It's all about how you react to the things when you wake up and when you're in certain situations. If you wake up and you're about to go to work, but you don't have any toothpaste, how do you react to that? What do you do now? You got to figure it out. You know what I mean? Got to figure it out. And it's 10% of what happens to you and 90% of how you react to it. Now, if you say, oh, I'm not going to go to work because I don't have any toothpaste and my breath is going to stink, then that's a bad reaction. Instead of saying, okay, I'm going to leave home early to go to the store and buy some toothpaste and I'll brush my teeth at work, or whatever the case may be, I'll get some mouthwash and figure it out, or I'll just something, you know what I mean? Coming up with a solution instead of a dissolution, right? Shift your perspective on control. Instead of resisting what you can't control, lean into trust. Recognize that even when things are chaotic, there is often a larger purpose or pattern unfolding. Redefine negativity. What we perceive as negative is often neutral. It's our interpretation that gives it meaning. Ask yourself, how can this situation serve me or teach me something? Every situation is going to serve you. Every situation is going to teach you. And shifting from a negative to a positive outlook is the it's both the easiest and hardest thing to do, right? It's the easiest way to change your frequency, but it's also the hardest way. It's also hard to do. It's not easy, but it's the quickest and easiest way. If that makes sense. I'm not sure that makes sense. Tell me in the comments if that makes sense. It's the easiest and hardest way, but it's the easiest way more so than the hardest way. It's both actually equally. You know what I'm saying? Because once it's done and you can't go back. But it's easy in that aspect in terms of once it's done, it's gonna work forever. You're good. But it's also hard in the aspect that it's gonna take time, and a lot of people lose focus once one challenge arises or comes up. You know what I mean? So, and the universe is gonna test you. It's gonna test your frequency, because as you get to a higher frequency, as you start operating on a higher plane of consciousness, understanding, you have to go through challenges to stay in that door, right? It's like you have to pay to get into this club. You got to pay to get into VIP. You have to pay with your subconscious and pay with your actions and your thoughts to stay in a higher realm of frequency, in a rich mindset. And of course, I want friends that's rich. Y'all know the quote, but not in money. Money means nothing to me. It's just a means to an end. It gets you to what you need to be. It gets you to where you need to get to. But if you don't have the right mind, body, and spirit, then it's all vain, right? It's all vain. Again, reprogram your subconscious. Since the subconscious drives much of our thoughts and actions, change your frequency starts here. Affirmation. Use positive affirmations. That's why I was doing the affirmation station. I should get back into that. I should do another affirmation station. I wrote some affirmations right here too. Everything is working out for my highest good. Everything is working out for my highest good. I trust the process of life. When things are going bad, you just gotta sit back and be like, I trust the process of life. I trust that this is just a stepping stone. This is just a situation. This is a test, and I will pass this test. I will prevail and excel and get through whatever it is that I'm going through. Right? Visualization. Regularly visualize your life, the life you desire, and how it feels when everything aligns. This helps your subconscious create pathways towards these outcomes, right? You have to get to a degree to where your frequency is aligned with your desired reality. If your desired reality and your frequency aren't aligned, it will never come to fruition. Self-talk audits, right? Notice and challenge your internal dialogue. Replace the thoughts of lack, fear, and doubt with those of abundance, trust, and empowerment. It's so easy for us to default to a negative thought process, but we have to catch ourselves and tell ourselves to think positive, right? Have a conversation with yourself. Sit down, and when things happen, you get that flat tire. Well, at least the tire didn't completely blow. Now I just got to go and put air in the tire and get a patch or whatever the case may be, change the tire. At least I'm not dead. This tire could have got flat or blew out while I was on the highway going 80. You know what I mean? It's flat. I came outside, the tire's flat. I fixed the tire. It's cool. Instead of coming out being like, damn, my tire's flat. I'm gonna be late to everything. Everything's ruined. I don't have time for this. Why is this happening to me, bro? It happens to everybody. It's just life. Life and the universe is no Damn, what's the quote? It's in the Bible. It's no respect as a person. It's no respect as a person, right? God is no respect as a person. It doesn't. You can be the greatest person in the world. You could be the most evil person in the world. You're still gonna if you fall off the building, you're still gonna die, right? Gravity doesn't look at your credit score before you fall. You know what I mean? Everyone is going to have the same outcome based on the same thought process, the same. Everything is gonna happen to everybody equally. Whether you're a bad person or a good person, a perceived bad person or perceived good person, you're going to have the same outcome, because the universe, God, is no respecters of person, right? So people may say, oh, this person is bad. Why does everything good happen to him? It's not that. There's no such thing as, for one, there's no such thing as good and evil, but that's a whole nother story, right? Because everything comes from good, right? Even the evil that is in the world was created from something good, so it can always revert back to the good. There's no such thing as good and evil. That's one. But there's no such thing as the universe favoring good people. It just doesn't work like that. Stay aligned with your higher vibrations. Your frequency determines how you experience it, how you experience life. Gratitude practice. Daily gratitude rewires your mind to focus on the good, even in challenging times. Find one thing to be thankful for. Of course, I've had that conversation with you guys before. And find not only something to be thankful for, but find something on the path to be thankful for and appreciate every single day. And just understand that you may not be where you want to be, but you're on that path and you will get there eventually, right? Love what you have now, and everything else will be, put onto you. You can't if you can't appreciate what you have now, we can't give you more to appreciate. Surround yourself with positivity. Engage with uplifting people. Consume inspiring content and spend time in environments that energize you. Let go of low vibrational emotions. Release anger, resentment, or fear through journaling, therapy, and mindfulness practices. Carrying these blocks your ability to see the good. Right? Embrace patience over resilience. Stop overthinking outcomes. Trust that you don't need to have all the answers right now. Let go of what if thinking and focus on what you can do in the moment. Mindfulness practice. Spend each day grounding yourself in the present moment. Meditation, breathwork, or even a quiet walk can help, right? Again, this is going to sound repetitive, but reframe negative experience. Ask empowering questions when faced with challenges. Replace "why is this happening to me?" but "what is this challenge? What is this teaching me?" See obstacles as opportunities. Remind yourself that breakdowns often lead to breakthroughs. You needed that. You needed that loss. You needed that loss to come back next year or come back tomorrow and learn from it and understand that, okay, that one little move that cost me my footing and I lost, is going to help us, right? Like the Rams last night, they lost. We don't play good in the snow. I'm not even going to get into this conversation because then I'm going to talk about football. But we lost basically by one play. And it was our offensive line broke down. Coverage, our quarterback read the coverage wrong, but I'm pretty sure if he's given that same play again, we would score a touchdown. I guarantee it, because he's learned from that mistake. Surrender and trust the process. Of course. Sometimes delays and challenges are necessary for aligning on the right path. Life may not unfold exactly as planned, but often it will work out better than you imagine. Right? Detach from specific outcomes and trust the timing. Detach from specific outcomes and trust the timing. Live in alignment with your purpose. If you want to be in a certain place and you're not living in alignment with that purpose, if you want to be a pilot, but you up all night drinking and smoking and you not really aligning with the lifestyle a pilot lives, you'll never align with that. You know what I mean? Your actions outwardly will lead to your reality, and if you don't have the mindset, your actions come from your frequency. If you align with just drinking and smoking and not really moving life forward mentally, you'll never become a pilot. When you're aligned with your inner truth, it's easier to see good in everything because you're attuned to your soul's journey. Reflect on your why. Regularly reconnect with your purpose and long-term vision. It creates clarity even in the path feels uncertain. Act with intention. Take inspiring acts towards what you feels right, even if it's small steps. 1% better every day. 1% closer to our goals every day. 1% aware every day. 1% better every day. Every single day. Stay committed to the practice of growth. Every day, another commitment. Practice growth. Right? Growth isn't a one-time event. It's a process. The more you practice reframing situations, cultivating gratitude, and letting go of resistance, the stronger your ability to see the good becomes. Over time, your subconscious will adapt to the frequency of trust and positivity, making it easier to naturally let things fall into place and naturally not naturally things naturally fall into place, but things also naturally becoming natural for you, right? So your outlook on life becomes naturally positive. Your outlook on failure becomes naturally positive, right? And the key mindset here, and I'll let you guys go in peace, love, harmony, and love and affection, and love and just finding everything that you want in life and being very detailed with the things that you want in life, like very detailed. See the red flags, and if it's not something that you want in your life, let it go. Don't ignore red flags. Don't ignore them. Don't ignore red flags. In everything. In everything. You have to be very detailed and understand what you align with and what those alignments come with, right? And let go of the red flags. Within yourself and within the universe, right? Certain things that we are doing in our lives, even the little minute things, right? Those don't align with our desired outcome, our desired reality. You have to let it go now, and don't let time, the construct of time, be wasted. So life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. When you align your frequency with gratitude, trust, and openness, you create a flow that allows things to fall into place effortlessly. Effortlessly. What is